Let me ask you this, man. Obviously, you were a chiropractor, right? What made you become a chiropractor, and then what made you kind of transition to becoming a coach?
Great question. So at around 20 years old, I'm a sophomore at NYU in New York City, no direction, constantly thinking, what am I doing here? Like, I got a lot of scholarships, but it was still expensive. And then one day, literally chiropractic popped into my mind. My only reference was my brother and mother both had good experiences with stereotypical stuff, low back, with a chiropractor, but it was enough at that point. Let me go talk to some chiropractors. All the ones I talked to, they loved what they did. They were super generous. They wanted to help me. And one of them I saw was a lot more successful. I started interning with his practice during the summers of undergrad. And that's where he had an associate who was like that DE, I don't know if you know that, Jesse, but just very philosophically based. I also noticed, because the chiro I was interning with was a coach in the field, there was this whole industry of chiropractic coaching. And I'm just 20, 21, 22 before going to grad school. And I also realized, and this was like the biggest coaching company at the time, I'm 22 and I was like, this stuff is outdated. Like, this doesn't make sense. This sucks. Right. I don't want to have to give hour-long report of findings for every new patient that comes in and we walk out of the room looking like we were in a wrestling match. That's what it was like. It's like, that's not what I want to do. So I realized even before I went to chiro school, I'm sure I can make a difference in this field. And then what was interesting is by the time I graduated chiro school, I realized the day-to-day patient care aspect didn't light me up and fuel my passion nearly as much as I thought it would. And maybe it's because I never had my own chiropractic healing story, so I couldn't relate to the patients as much. Like, I'm happy for them, your headaches go away, your back is better, but I couldn't relate. However, having failed in the first 6 months, I'll say that, in the first 6 months of practice, and waiting 6 to 9 months after graduating before starting in practice because I just wasn't ready, my headspace was a mess, I was in fear mode, helping a chiropractor get over that hump